Good evening everyone, welcome back to Tom Plays Factorio for absolute beginners. We have a broadly functional copper mine, but I need more wall and definitely more ammunition. And I also want to take a look at building some rails up this way because we need to start getting into fuel and possibly seeing what it would take to make batteries. So yeah, plenty to do. Not sure why that's taking so long. So I shall just tell it to get over here. Guessing that maybe the copper output is full or something. Which is potentially a concern. Alright, one of them is full. I see. Oh no, actually it looks like they're both pretty much full. Okay, so I mean in a lot of ways that's actually good. But I don't really want this train being clogged up forever either. So I might just put in a couple of chests just to hold any excess. Not a huge deal, but these chests should fill up with excess copper and hopefully that will allow this to actually empty. But we'll see. Okay, right, so you're finished, so where can I move you to? Doesn't look like we have a room for additional ones up here yet, although I suppose we may do. We could go further back, I suppose. To start with, let's put another one down here. Could just go look at the other mine. I did, however. Okay, so we've done the shooting speed. I would like to know what I'm lacking in order to get these. Okay, so I'm actually lacking this oil processing, so we're not going to be able to do batteries until we have started mining fuel. So we definitely need to get the fuel mine opened. Pretty much as a matter of urgency. Actually, I was resigned to doing this whole line, wasn't I? So I could do another mine here. Won't last long, but just keep things going for now. Okay, so we're going to be heading out into the north, so it might be worth picking up some defenders. So we'll kind of cover these. They're used a lot like grenades, but you when you throw them down, they start hovering around you and automatically attacking the enemy. So we'll probably be demonstrating them at some point. Right, okay. No major ideas right now. I might just do the lab research speed. I'm certainly going to want to do it at some point. So that's fine. Right, so principally we need railways. And plenty of them. One thing I haven't really been doing yet is making these. The automated gates. I do want to start fitting some of these. So let's just see if I can make a few. Okay. So I want to get some railways coming in and going out. I suppose this would probably be as good a place as any. So because we're doing a loop, of course, we need to have 2 entrances. Oh, it's a wall that's damaged. Fair enough. And I am going to need to temporarily block this as well. Which is fine. Right. That's broadly in the middle, isn't it? Doesn't really matter where they're going for now, although I can see this is going to have to turn off to make way pretty quickly because we don't have a lot of room for this one. Okay, so these automated doors, basically, if you have something horizontal, you can generally just drag them across the rail. So while they... Oh, actually, I think they will let me place them down now. Yeah, that used to be a problem. I guess they fixed it. Excellent. There we go. So that should mean that if something's chasing a train or just happens to be here when the train's coming in, it won't be able to get through the gate, hopefully. Because it only opens to let the train in and shuts behind it to let it out. So if we just fix this. Perfect. Right, I think maybe we should deal with that base because we're just going to have an infinite number of attacks until we do. And while that's probably inevitable in the long run, I'm probably going to want that coal anyway. Right, so these defenders, pretty cool. You can let them go anywhere. So you throw them like grenades, I think. Right click. We'll have a maximum number we can have. There, I've overdone it there. And they will basically just help us. They will automatically fire. I think it's standard ammunition, so they may still need help from our armor piercing ammunition. But they've allowed us to make very short work of that base. There we go. And I often kind of like having them around anyway, simply because if I happen not to see an enemy, they will hopefully spot it for me and shoot it down. I don't know if we're going to need to take out another base actually, because it's looking like there's a lot of cliffs in the way. It's a bit of a question as to how easily I'm going to wend my way through them. Although the new angles that these can live at certainly do help. Okay, well that's not bad. So I'm just wondering how best to do this, because I do want to make one of the little circular pieces at some point. I like this bridge. A couple of structures like that. Okay, and let's go do the other one. So actually I think we're fine. I'll take a slightly different route for that one. I wonder if I'm going to need a little structure just for the coal mine. Right. Let's make sure I'm being sensible about this. I want to make sure that they're obviously workable as a loop. So I suppose the obvious way to do that to start with is just to connect them together, because then they absolutely would be a loop. I have to admit that base down there does make me a little nervous, and it is small enough that I could probably just deal with it. Okay. So to my way of thinking, grief. And just make a nice little loop here. That makes sense though. There, you go out there, you come in there. I think it does. Yeah, I think that works as a loop. Right, before it quite gets dark, let's go deal with this base. Fairly sure that we can. Easily enough. Now we have the defenders. A lot of the time when you get a new technological advance, you find it's not so hard to deal with enemies. At least temporarily. Is that it? I think that's it. Cool. Okay, so this is quite an interesting one. It's uranium, by the way. I don't know if we've walked across it before, but you can do safely. I'm guessing this is oil. Crude oil, yes. So because these are so close together, I suppose arguably they probably want to share a train station. So they're basically going to be a single base, which is interesting. So I suppose I could just put said station here. Except on our railways, of course. And we're going to want to bypass as well. I didn't used to do bypasses, that's a new one, but it would possibly mean that I don't need as many of these loops to keep things under control. Okay, yeah, but that's fine. Just underestimated the number of rails we're going to need. Should possibly try to bring the car up here as well, so that we're not just going back and forth really slowly forever. Just going to quickly check the mines while we're passing. Yep, we're good. Brilliant. Okay, so those bases are cleared, and we do definitely want to do the fuel, but I am inclined to work on the other two places as well. So we should add just a little bit to the wall, and try to add some... These walls are really being made a bit too slowly. Don't usually worry too much about speed, but this is perhaps a little too slow even for me. So we probably will come back this way. Grab some ammunition. That's looking pretty good, actually. Still, we're not exactly overloaded with steel. So I'll stick some in there. Let's grab some iron as well for making things. So I don't have many walls on me, but hopefully the extra mine in the quarry will help with that. So if I just see how far I can extend the actual wall here. Not very far. Never mind. In that case, I may... I was thinking I might only take these as far as the wall goes, but I think I've changed my mind. You never know when you might start getting attacks from everywhere. So let's just increase this a bit, seeing as there's a load of spare ammunition. Let's try and get this towards finally being finished off. Not that close, of course, but I just want to do a little bit, at least every episode. Ooh, that's a concern. Right, okay, it's not a major concern though, because I can quite happily just split off. There we go. I always might as well find a second ago, but we're close enough to them that it's just worth checking. Plus, in theory, this does increase our speed slightly. Only slightly. Right. So let me just see what we have used. Checking whether we're low on anything. We are not, but I do ironically have a load of stone. So may as well pump up the walls a little. Okay. Alright, so it's not so much that we've got too much copper, it's that we have too much ore. Interesting. Okay, well, I'm not going to worry about it. We've got enough copper, which is what matters. May as well take a full load of solar panels, although I'm not that fussed about using them until we have the batteries. How are we for inserters? We are fine, but we are very low on transport belts. Just grab some of those, and while I think about it, we should restock on railways because we're going to need those. Anything else? No, I think we're generally fine. We're just... annoyingly low on the walls. Still, wall or no wall, we can at least finish off for defence. Out of coal. Apparently I should have been checking the coal mines all this time. Right. Let me give you some coal. And... so I'm just going to maintain the status quo for now. Not too worried because generally coal lasts a lot longer. Still not ideal though. Still, not to worry. Right, let's go finish off a copper mine. If I can stop getting distracted for 5 seconds, although, to be fair, I am about to distract myself again. Is there anything that we really want to do? I do want to do the concrete at some point. Let's do follow a robot count. So that basically... I don't know if you remember, when I was throwing the defenders out, I had no idea how many I could have. So I'd throw them out until they started being destroyed when I threw them out. That's because there's a strict limit as to how many I can have out and active at a time. And this tech will just increase that limit. Allow me to have more. You up here. But yeah, we definitely need to do that coal mine as well. I've certainly been a lot slower at setting things up with having used armor piercing rounds this time. I do think it makes for a better setup overall. And we're certainly not struggling for ammunition like we have been doing the rest of the game. And I think that should keep this base going for a bit. So I'm going to start putting down some more gun turrets. So it still isn't fully protected until we have walls ready, but at least we can have it so that anyone who comes within range is at least going to be fired upon. I think at this stage in the game, probably will actually be sufficient. So I do the walls we do have over here. Part of me kind of feels we don't really need to worry about the areas that have trees because they're defended anyway. Might clear them later, just so that I'm absolutely sure. But for now, I suppose it makes sense to put the wall where we know there's no defence. Okay, right. I think that should be fine. Although I'd feel better if I could actually see that it's fine. Oh yeah, they're coming, aren't they? They're on the way. I think we can head back up. Feel reasonably confident. So what I should have done is put those automated doors in the gaps. I'll have to try and remember that next time. I do think we're well on our way to having that mine finished and in a position where we can be fairly confident that it can be left to its own devices. Okay, so here's a question. Can I navigate this through the base without smacking into loads of stuff? Alright, you, my friend, are going to... Right, I think I might walk for this one. They're going to be moved over here. Yeah, we've got plenty of room over here. I should probably have moved that other one here as well. Don't mind using this one up in entirety. It's the one right next to the base that I want to save for a worst case scenario. Should have plenty of rails. Let me just grab some walls. Not going to worry about ammunition for now. Probably don't really need the walls, to be honest. I just want to get the rails in place. Okay. That's not going to work. I think rather than try and drive the car through the ravine, we'll use these. These will make a lot more sense. Okay. Let's see what we can do. At least now I'll just be damaging the car and natural objects. If I crash... Right, so the loop I'm pretty happy with. In fact, I almost feel like I don't need the bypass because the loop is so nearby. But we'll see. Right, so in an ideal world, we actually do want this to go all the way around. Not all the way around, all the way through, because then I can easily do some walls. However, on, is this right? I suppose it's right if we come from that direction. So I'm assuming the train's going this way. So anti-clockwise this time. Can't actually remember which way it was going last time, but I still haven't decided whether these are even going to meet up. And we can always switch them over if we need to. Okay. So similarly, I want you to go straight up until you're free of the fuel. That should do it. Wasn't a very good way to do it. Let me work this out. So if I want to exit like that, you see these are going to be right next to each other. It almost doesn't seem worth, you know, separating them. I'm just concerned about how big a defensive perimeter I'm going to need to cover this entire area. That's quite a lot. Well, not to worry. Okay, let's grab the car and I'll go work on the other end. Nope, got some wood. And seriously damaged my own wall. Awesome. Right, let's just park you. And do some repairs. Okay, so it's probably going to be a bit... Well, I suppose to be honest, I could put the station anywhere. I was going to say it's probably a bit crowded here, but I don't even need to decide because I can literally just run it along here. Half tempted to do it the entire length of the base, to be honest. Just for convenience. We'll be taking up quite a bit of room, though. Some things I do like about this game, certainly the way I play it. Things do change a lot. I'm doing this very differently to how I've done it before. But I think we essentially have a complete loop there, which is good. So what am I thinking? I'm thinking the train's going to go this way, around there, back down here. Yeah, that works. Okay, cool. So in that case, I could actually dump a station down here in theory. Seeing as I have a spare. And it'll be a handy reminder of which way around I was intending to put these things. Do I have any spare traffic lights? I do not, but I might set a couple up. Just to break things up a little. A decent amount of room, but I'll probably still only use 2 carriages. Right, brilliant. And I think I might actually stop there for today. So not immensely eventful, but we did clear out 2 minor bases, set up the future railway network to allow us to do fuel and in theory uranium, but we don't need the uranium yet. We desperately need fuel. Got a lot further to making the copper mine properly defended. Moved the big wall along a little. Doubled our stone production. Definitely not before time. In fact, this would definitely benefit from some fast inserters, I think. I don't know if we need one there as well, but for the sake of argument, we'll just get them going. Using both sides of the conveyor belt. Not sure it makes much difference at the moment, but if we get stack inserters later which can pick up more than one thing, it might be quite useful having both sides full. May not make any difference at all, but in any case it means more can stack up. Okay, brilliant. Now ammunition production is much better. Brilliant. Right, so I will leave it there. I will look at what to research next time, and we will hopefully look at, more importantly than anything, getting the fuel mine set up. Although I'm thinking if we do manage to finish the copper mine defences, we could stick a radar in there as well, once we know it's fully defended. So that'd be good, it'll give us an idea of what we've got off to the south. So yeah, looking a little bit better. Need to rename that base. Brilliant. So yeah, thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.